From Babylon to Timbuktu, written by Rudolph R. Windsor. All right, let's go to page 64. I'm on page 64, this section right here. During the period that the Hebrews were slaves for Pharaoh, they built many of the megalithic structures. The Hebrews erected some pyramids. I just want to show you that, some. So the Hebrews, we didn't build all of the pyramids, but we built some of the pyramids. They dug a great many channels for the river. They built walls for the cities and ramparts. They constructed the halls at Karnak for Thutmose the First. They built temple pylons, hypostyle halls, and an obelisk for Amenhotep III. By the edict of Ramses II, Ramses II was the pharaoh we left from Egypt. By the edict of Ramses II, they constructed at Thebes the temple of Ramesseum with its colossal statue of himself, and they built the treasure cities of Pithom and Ramses. Naturally, the Hebrews were not the only slaves in Egypt. There were Ethiopian slaves, Nubians, Canaanites, Syrians, and people from the Aegean Islands. But the Hebrew slaves were in the majority. Everybody here was black. All right, we're going to look at the dynasties of ancient Egypt. Remember, we left under Ramses II. Ramses II was at the early stages of the 19th dynasty. So from Ramses, I'd say maybe he was around maybe 40 years old. So that's what I'm just giving an approximate. So from around that time, during the 19th dynasty, we have to go back 400 years. Remember, we were afflicted for 400 years. Genesis 15, verse 13. 400 years from Ramses. So now let's take a look. Dynasty. All right. Okay. Here's the 19th dynasty now. See the 1292 BCE, Thebes and Memphis Empire, Ramses. So we got to go back 400 years from 1292. So from 1292, 400 years earlier would bring us to 1692. Remember, this is BC. So 1692 says, so you got, what's dynasty? Just got the 15th dynasty. Y'all see that? So we were in there from the 15th dynasty all the way. Remember, Ramses is 1292. 400 years added on to that is 1692. I ain't the best of math, but I know a little math. So, again, so from the 15th dynasty, we go all the way through to the 19th where Ramses is. Okay, because we left under Ramses II. Okay. So remember, again, Egyptian years are just approximates. Different books say different things. That's why I'm just going by dynasties. The years, it's like, even the Hyksos could possibly be a little earlier than the 15th dynasty. Possibly. Because Joseph was around the time of the Hyksos. All right. So let me see something. '16th dynasty. What I want to do is I want to show y'all some of the kings. These are some of the kings. I see these names. These are some of the kings, the pharaohs. Some of y'all might be familiar with some of these names. Okay. Oh, that was the 16th. Now I'm going to the 17th dynasty. 17th dynasty. Pharaohs. I want y'all to see the names and the pictures. See the names and the pictures. Let's look at the 18th dynasty. Pharaohs. Almost the first you got there. Look at these names. Y'all might be familiar more so with these names. Again, these pharaohs were our slave masters. They beat the hell out of us. Y'all see these names? Amenhotep III, Thutmose IV, Amenhotep II, Thutmose III, Queen Hatshepsut, Thutmose II, Thutmose I, Amenhotep I, Ahmosis I. Now 19th. Okay, the 19th we left under Ramses II. Okay, we left under Ramses II. This is the pharaoh that got plagued in Exodus. Ramses II. Nature Knows No Color Line by J.E. Rogers. Let's go to page 12. Let's read along. Let's start right there. It could be that the Jews before they left Egypt imbibed some of the color prejudice mentioned by Macy, but it could not have been strong among them because they were dark or even black. One rabbi does say they were black at that time, that the passage, black but comely, from the Songs of Solomon means, I was black in Egypt, but comely in Egypt. There is no doubt that after 4 centuries in Egypt, the Jews had mixed much with Egyptians and Ethiopians, whom their legends describe as black and woolly-haired. Thus, the main difference between Hebrew and Egyptian was not racial, but religious, the form which economic exploitation then took. Miriam's objection to the Ethiopian wife, remember Zipporah was Ethiopian, when you read Numbers 12 and 1. Let me read it again. Miriam's objection to the Ethiopian wife of Moses, Zipporah, was not on color, but on religion, and more likely on culture. Let's jump down right here. Furthermore, we have no proof that the original 70 Jews or Hebrews who went to Egypt were white. Let's read that again. Furthermore, we have let me zoom in on that. No proof that the original 70 Jews who went to Egypt were white. No proof the original Jews were white. Let's read on. Focus. According to their legends, they originated in Chaldea, that's Babylon, and there is considerable evidence the inhabitants of that region in earliest times were Negroid. In fact, some writers said the Jews were an African people. Strabo said many of his time believed they were. Wow. Sex and Race, Negro-Caucasian Mixing in All Ages and All Lands by J.A. Rogers, Volume 1, The Old World. I'm going over to page 91. Page 91. Pay close attention, please. I'm going to start here with the, where it says but I just want to focus here because it gets to a point here. This part was conjecture. The earliest Jews were in all probability Negroes. Abraham, their ancestor, is said to have come from Chaldea, and the ancient Chaldeans were black. The Chaldees, says Higgins, were originally Negroes. As was said, 2 relics of prehistoric Negroes have been discovered in this region. It is even possible that the Jews originated not in Asia, but in Africa. Gerald Macy has advanced considerable argument in proof of that theory. Whatever was the original color of the Jews, they lived for more than 4 centuries among the Negroid Egyptians. Let's jump down. Only 70 Jews went to Egypt, but according to the Bible, 600,000 men left it, which must have meant an additional 2 or 3 million women and children. Since the Jews were slaves, their women were undoubtedly concubines of the Egyptians and must have produced mixed offspring. After more than 3 centuries of slavery, remember we were there 400 years, almost every trace of the first 70 Jews must have been lost together with their culture. Thus, Jewish culture was Egyptian culture. Okay, let's jump down here. Watch this. Listen to this part. To get an idea what must have happened to only those 70 Jews. Think of what has happened to Negroes in the United States who came in hundreds of thousands over a period of centuries, and not all at once as the Jews did in Egypt. The Negroes are so Americanized that were it not for their color, one would forget that they ever came from Africa. Wow. Let's read that again. The Negroes are so Americanized that were it not for their color, one would forget that they ever came from Africa. Wow. Let's go down here. Oh, do y'all see that? Moses himself was black, period. You see the period there? Moses, look at that. Moses himself was black. In all likelihood, he was the son of Pharaoh's own daughter. Adoption, which would account for his adoption and rearing for the throne. All right, let's go over. Let's read from here. Every kind of intermingling has taken place between the original groups of the Negro, Hamitic, and Semitic peoples. Remember, the Negroes are Semitic. In the Sudan, Upper Egypt, and North Africa, there are Jews whose color and features are indistinguishable from Negroes. The Jews outside Africa retain large numbers of them, their Negroid traits. Wow. All right, let's look at some of these artifacts of ancient Egyptians. Portraits from ancient Egypt, center fragments of face of Queen Nefertiti. So that's a fragment of the face of Queen Nefertiti. Let's see number 3. Number 3 is Akhenaten, Egyptian pharaoh. So that is Akhenaten. Okay. Here were some other Egyptian pharaohs. Netek Amen, Nubian pharaoh of about 30 BC. Okay. Neb Ma'at Ra, a mighty ruler and builder of the 17th pyramid. Ra, I'm trying to pronounce these names. You'll have to excuse me. Ra-Mer-Ka Amen Tarit, Nubian pharaoh of about 100 BC. All right, Ptolemy the 8th. No, not, I'm sorry. Ptolemy the 13th, excuse me. Father of Cleopatra. Now, Ptolemy was white, but the mama was a Hamite, okay? And that's why she was called very beautiful and all of that. So she was of mixed parentage. This is the serene and beautiful Queen Nefertiti, beloved wife of Akhenaten. She was a slave mistress to the Israelites. For you sisters that always want to wear her face, she was one of our mistresses that whipped the hell out of us. And when she died, her slaves were buried with her for the afterlife. So black woman, Israelite woman, if you worked for her immediate house, when she died, you were buried alive with her. All right, this is Seti the Great, conqueror of Cush in Assyria. These are Hamitic kings. Nectanebo the first. Thutmose III. They called him the Napoleon of far antiquity. Conquered the then known world. Was wise administrator and merciful ruler. That's Thutmose III. Pharaoh of the 12th dynasty. Okay, this is a daughter of Akhenaten and sister of Tutankhamun. This is Queen Tai, mother of Akhenaten. All these people I'm showing you are Nilotic Negroid, black. All right. An Egyptian princess of the 18th dynasty. Amenophis III, father of Akhenaten. Egyptian portraits. Pictorial History of Israel by Jacob A. Rubin and Maya Barkai. Unto thy seed. Watch this. Y'all see these black people working here in brick and mortar, making bricks? Some are light complexion, some are very black. Let's read. Let me zoom in on this section here. This mural depicting Israel's bondage in Egypt was found in the Theban tomb of Rekhmia, governor and vizier at the time of Thutmose III, about 1450 BCE. Thutmose III was one of our slave masters. He was a pharaoh. Notice the Israelites are black. Notice they got a scripture here. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, that means slavery, in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. Exodus chapter 1, verse 13 and 14. I want you to look at these Israelites. Get a white boy out of that. Look at this. It's a taskmaster there. Black. So y'all shouldn't be deceived and fooled letting people tell you nobody knows what the Israelites look like. That's a lie. The scholars know. And this is taken from inside a tomb of Thutmose. This was on the walls of a tomb. The Image of the Black in Western Art, From the Pharaohs to the Fall of the Roman Empire. Edited by David Beinman. He's a racist, I always tell you that. And Henry Louis Gates Jr. This guy must be asleep while David Beinman writes. Let's go in and let's look at the pharaohs and things of that nature. What do y'all see here? What do y'all see here? Let me pull back. What do y'all see here? Let's zoom in. Let's take a look. .5 oil flask, back view. Dynasty, what is that? 18. This is the 18th dynasty. Gold, made of gold and silver, semi-precious stones and glass. From the tomb of Tutankhamun. That's King Tut. 18th dynasty. King Tut, he was one of our slave masters. Let's take a look. What do y'all notice? What do y'all notice? See, you might think that this was the original color here. But look here. Jet black. But look at the arms. Look at the feet. Why is the face dark like that and the arms and the feet are light? Because the arms and the feet, somebody went in and scraped everything off. And when some of these dumb urban apologetics say, no, their faces got black because of soot and things of that nature. No, they were already black. Okay. Let's get some more. Let's get some more proof and evidence. All right. 1.6. Painted wall relief from the tomb of Seti I, the 5th hour of the Book of Gates, depicting, bottom row, types of humans, offspring of the Solar Dynasty. Egyptians, Cushites, Libyans, Syro-Phoenicians, Syro-Palestinians, excuse me. You know what's funny about this book? They never say anybody is an Israelite in this book. And we just read earlier that the Israelites outnumbered all the other nations in Egypt. So look at these dark people. Black. Y'all see that? All right, military procession, including a black standard bearer. A black standard bearer. Let's see a black standard. This is dynasty, 18th dynasty. The Israelites, we were there in the 18th dynasty. I want you to look at all, everybody here is black. Everybody here is black. This was Israel in captivity. These were tributaries, black. Procession of Nubian tribute bearers, dynasty, 18th dynasty. I want y'all to look. Everybody's black. Black. Tributaries. They were paying homage to Pharaoh. Black, 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 black. Here's some more. Black. Notice the skin's being popped off and peeled here on this one, but not here. This one too. Black. 18th dynasty again. Tribute scene. African women with children. Dynasty. 18th dynasty. This was the dynasty the Israelites were in. Here's some more. Carrying children. She got a basket with a strap around her forehead. This one's holding the other side with her arm. Tribute scene, group of black women with children. 18th dynasty. This is a stela of Amenhotep III. 18th dynasty. All right. This is black prisoners bound to the pharaoh's war chariot. Amenhotep III. Amenhotep III was black too. So this guy, that's why I don't like this writer, black prisoners. These are the prisoners here. The arms are bound. This is Amenhotep III. All right. Bearing tribute to the south to Tutankhamun. So now this group is bringing tribute to King Tut. I'm sure you ain't no white people. Everybody's black. Bearing the tribute from the south to Tutankhamun. Dynasty 18. 18th dynasty. Look. All right, this is from the 19th dynasty. Ramses II during his time. Look. All right, these are captives. They have yokes of iron. Look at the yokes of iron around the neck. Arms are bound. Okay, this is Amenhotep as a sphinx. Dynasty, 18th dynasty. So here you have a stele representing Amenhotep, who's conquered or got his foot on his enemies. He has his enemies were the Israelites, because we were the majority of the slaves there. That's what I want you all to see and remember. We were the majority of the slaves there. We weren't the only ones. But when you look at the slaves in ancient Egypt, they are all black. Yokes of iron on their neck. These are for the runaways. You tried to run away, they put yokes of iron on you. Just like America did during the time of chattel slavery. Yokes of iron, yokes of iron. That's a big hoop earring there. This guy just puts, look. Head of a black prisoner. Wow. Dynasty, 19th dynasty. He's head of a black prisoner. Okay. All right. Number 47 and 48. Statuette of a young Nubian girl carrying an ointment jar. Late dynasty, 18th dynasty. So I wonder who this young Nubian girl is carrying this jar of ointment. Look, she's black too. They had our women as slaves and concubines. Statuette of a young black girl presenting a stem bowl supported by a monkey. Dynasty, 18th dynasty. Black dancer beside a woman playing a tabor. Early dynasty 18th. I wonder who these black girls are in Egypt. These are Israelites, the Jews. There's the monkey there. Y'all see this? So where's the white people that were slaves? Where is these white people in Israel who were slaves in Egypt? They did not exist. They were not there. Well, they existed, but they weren't there. They were the Edomites at the time. All right. And this one is Pharaoh slaying blacks. Like the Pharaoh wasn't black. Wow. It's just a brown, dark brown complexion, and you got darker brown complexions. Okay. They did tribute. So not Tutankhamun. Remember, he was the boy king. He didn't go out beating nobody. These were tributes. These people he's being represented, the slaves in Egypt. Facts. Animals, wild animals. This is on the chest. And this is the close-up. This represented the slaves that he overthrew, or that Egypt overthrew. And they were giving tribute to the boy king. Got a rope all around his neck. Now, these could possibly be Nilotes, possibly. When I was in Uganda, I saw faces like that. But the point is, they're black. My main objective is to show you there were no Caucasians as slaves in Egypt at this time. That's my point. Statuette of a Nubian captive. Late 18th dynasty. Look. Her arms are bound. Black. All right. These are some of the pharaohs. Harper's Bible Dictionary. Fresco paintings from the western wall of the 3rd century AD synagogue at Deir Yopos, a city on the Euphrates River in Syria. All right, let's take a look. I'll start here. 2b depicts Moses 3 times from far right to left. Moses strides toward the Red Sea with staff upraised, leading the ancient Israelites out of Egypt. So the 3 times Moses is depicted here. So there's 1, 2, 3. Notice what color Moses is. Please, can y'all look at that, please? Look at the hand of God. Right there. The hand of Yahweh. The hand of Elohim. Y'all feel better now? Moses is black. Look at the afro. Look at the Israelites. Look at the Egyptians being drowned. And the Israelites marching, not breaking ranks. There's Aaron and his 2 sons. There's the menorah. But I want y'all to just let that linger in your mind for a bit. Christians are probably getting mad. Some of you Christians might be getting happy now. Some racist ones is mad. You don't like this. How dare you show ancient old paintings of Moses and the Israelites? We thought we had you dudes deceived with the white images we dumped it up a long time ago. Well, you didn't fool this one. Wow, these images are fantastic. And your children must know about these things. Boys and girls, every one. George M. Fredrickson, The Black Image in the White Mind. The Debate on Afro-American Character and Destiny, 1817 to 1914. Let's go to page 75. Actually, I'll start at page 74. I'm going to go down here to the bottom. We're going to start right here. In the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Gliddon on Egyptologists who provided him with mummy heads and information about the racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions. In Crania Egyptica, crania means skull, shape of the skull, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both the cranial, which means skull, and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes, as abolitionists and colonizationalists had maintained. And that, watch this, and that in fact, blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. So who were the blacks? What was the role of the Israelites in ancient Egypt? Slaves. And that, in fact, blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. Letting you know the slaves in ancient Egypt are the same slaves in modern America. Fact. So they know that we are the Israelites.